Ungan harak newe ka kita mia.
Volcano is his supreme being.
Metawin ko custom, ungan to volcano me wall mau medo custom open.
When God the Creator created the world, he made a custom first.
To the people of the John Froome cargo cult, this volcano is their god, their creator, and the sustainer of their lives. And somewhere in this volcano lives John Froome, a former GI, whom they say served in Vanuatu during World War II. John is their Messiah, an odd mixture of John the Baptist, Uncle Sam, and Santa Claus. One day he will return to Tanna and shower his followers with untold riches and knowledge. This is Chief Isaac, leader of the John Froome cult in the area of Sulphur Bay. Part preacher and part politician, he is the sole link between the faithful and their God. John Froome gives his message directly to Chief Isaac, and Chief Isaac gives it to his people. And because of that connection, Chief Isaac's word is undisputed law. One law that Chief Isaac has adamantly enforced over the years has been this: there shall be no other God but John Froome.
Well, John Froome in the past, they do not want the gospel to reach them, and they react very seriously, and they don't want anyone to enter. And early 90s, we went there, and it wasn't possible for the church to enter. You cannot go straight to Jesus, you must come first to John and then go to Jesus.
A few years ago, though, a split occurred in the cult. Fred Nasser, a John Froome follower who was serving on a Taiwanese fishing vessel, returned to Sulphur Bay saying God had told him that the lake at the base of the volcano would empty out into the sea. When his prophecy came true, 7,000 of the cult's 10,000 members stopped following Chief Isaac and began to follow Prophet Fred. That provided the opportunity the local church leaders had been praying for years.
God impressed some of the local pastors the need to work with some of the top leaders of the movement, some of the high chiefly men.
If you reach the chief, then it is the chief that people respond to him.
Well, one of the things that we did 2 years ago now is that we had a boat available to us to take the film to the real isolated islands that were difficult to reach with a film team going in. The last place where Dayspring stopped was on the island of Tanna. And unfortunately, they only had 2 days left on their customs permit, so they were not able to do very many showings. There was such a demand for the film that the local leaders asked if they could leave the film and the equipment.
As they see the film, as they see the pictures, it becomes more real to them. It's like Jesus coming alive and being in the presence. The Jesus film has also touched a lot of lives. Even the crucifixion part of the film, it has really touched a lot of people. The people who come forth with tears and repented heart because they could see and realize why Jesus had died on the cross for their sins.
I stay in John Froome, but I don't see anything. So my father tells about John Froome, but I don't see anything. But when I receive baptism, my baptism, and I look, Spirit fill me, open my head and my heart, and I see Christ, and I bring Christ in my heart.
The high paramount chief of the area, who was a John Froome follower, actually became a believer, and his son was discipled and has been very influential. And then God raised up this fellow we know as Prophet Fred.
he told them that now they will not believe in customs, but they will believe in God, only God.
And about 2 months later, I was in the country just evaluating the project, and I was hearing some pretty exciting stories about what happened on Tanna. And 2 weeks after that, I got a letter from a missionary here who had come to Tanna to help open a new church. He told me about it. He said, but the most exciting thing was that day we welcomed into membership in the church 4,666 new converts from the John Froome cargo cult.
There are 300 custom villages around the island. They now come to believe in Jesus.
But still, Chief Isaac remains adamant in his rejection of the gospel. And as he does, he becomes the greatest barrier to his 3,000 followers ever hearing the good news of Jesus Christ.
Would you be willing for us to return and show the film to your people?
Kama nikim dangien ma nama kotol finise film hakan ni kotarunos jemau imamiken kani nakote ita maramen dan miwa kako.
Point ko ano kapuya kanya ko.
No, I stopped that.
Ina runda ka spili ma.
I know that film.
Ina runda ka.
I know that film.
And my father don't understand, and I cry for my father. So I really want too much for my father and family come to Christ. My heart, I pray every day, night, day. I walk, pray, my pray. I think about every walk, every day. I pray, I think about.
The work continues, however, in spite of the obstacles, partnering with Campus Crusade for Christ and utilizing materials like the Jesus film and the Jesus booklet. The Presbyterian Church in Vanuatu is steadfast in their commitment to see all of their nation reached for Christ.
What we're on about here is seeing spiritual movements going on throughout the world. And we've been able to partner with the churches in Vanuatu and help provide resources for their movements to grow and expand, and for the people to really understand what it means to walk with Jesus. And like what we're seeing here on Tanna, just in the last 2 or 3 years, there have been upwards of 7,000 or so John Froome cargo cult members who have come to Christ.
And I believe that there are people out here in Vanuatu, as our friend from the John Froome movement, that are dying without Christ, and we need to reach them. That is the main focus of us going to them with the film, showing the film and inviting them to the Lord. Because without that, they are lost and they're going to hell. And I believe this is what the Lord wants us to do.